Namaskar, welcome to Express News. First, the national news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi en route to Johannesburg, South Africa to attend the 20th G20 Leaders Summit being hosted by the Republic of South Africa. This will be the fourth consecutive G20 summit held in the Global South. In his departure statement, Prime Minister Modi called the summit special, given that it would be the first G20 summit being held in Africa. He also added that the summit will be an opportunity to discuss key global issues. In a landmark development, India and Israel formally initiated negotiations for a comprehensive free trade agreement on Thursday by signing the terms of reference, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal announced during his visit. Addressing a gathering at the gala dinner with the Israeli companies, the CEOs there, Minister Piyush Goyal expressed solidarity with Israel and highlighted that they have a shared struggle both countries face against terrorism. The Secretary of the Ministry of External Affairs in India, Sibi George, had a productive meeting with Secretary General of the European External Action Service, Belen Martinez, at the EU headquarters in Brussels. President Draupadi Murmu, who is on a visit to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, offered prayers at the Lord Venkateshwara Swami Temple in Tirumala on Friday morning. India's Minister for Finance and Corporate Affairs, Nirmala Sitharaman, chaired the 11th pre-budget consultation with experts from the infrastructure and energy sectors on Friday, ahead of the Union Budget 2026-2027. India's Union Home Minister Amit Shah attended the Border Security Force's 61st Raising Day at the 176th Battalion campus in Gujarat's Bhuj as the chief guest on Friday. Addressing the event, Amit Shah highlighted the role of BSF Jawans in Operation Sindoor. Ahead of the Parliament session of the winter session for India, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju called an all-party meeting. The Indian Army has accelerated its indigenization drive during the year of tech absorption, with more than 1,050 spares and over 60 major assemblies of critical foreign origin weapons systems already being indigenized. The 11th India-Sri Lanka Army-to-Army staff talks were held in Bodh Gaya from the 18th to the 20th of November. Both sides reaffirmed their commitment to a strong India-Sri Lanka relationship in promoting regional peace and stability. India's General Officer Commanding-in-Chief of the Southern Command released the book Smart Atmanirbhar Arsenal for Viksit Bharat 2047 on Friday. The launch brings valuable insights on India's defence manufacturing journey and the roadmap to accelerate defence innovation and build indigenous capabilities. The Indian Navy will host the 4th edition of the Naval Innovation and Organization Seminar, Swavalambam 2025, on the 25th and the 26th of November at the Manekshaw Centre in New Delhi. As part of India's National Integration Tour, 22 school and college students from tribal communities in Manipur met the Lieutenant General Pushpendra Singh, the Vice Chief of Army Staff. The Narcotics Control Bureau, Guwahati Zonal Unit, in collaboration with Frontier Headquarters, Border Security Force, Guwahati, seized 9.8 kilograms of heroin and apprehended a person on Friday. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma announced that VFS Global has agreed in principle to establish a dedicated visa facilitation centre in Guwahati. Ahead of the flag hoisting ceremony at the Ram Temple in Uttar Pradesh's Ayodhya on November 25, elaborate security and logistical arrangements have been put in place at the city airport. More than 100 additional CISF personnel will be deployed at the Ayodhya airport. Delhi's Lieutenant Governor Vinay Kumar Saxena on Friday directed the police commissioner and the chief secretary to implement a series of precautionary and preventive measures in the wake of the Delhi car blast. The Election Commission of India began preparations for the 2026 Bengal Assembly polls amid ongoing special intensive revision of electoral roll in West Bengal, with check on the EVMs and voting rehearsal exercise. The Indian equity indices ended on a negative note, with the Nifty below 26,100 on Friday. At close, the Nifty 50 was at 26,068.15 points, down by 0.47%. At close, the Sensex was down by 400 points at 85,231.92. The Indian rupee ended at a fresh record low at 89.40 per US dollar on Friday. Gold futures maturing on the 5th of December was priced at 123,077 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for 5th December maturity stood at 151,660 rupees per kilo on the MCX. India has achieved a record total food grain output of 357.73 million tons in 2024-25, marking an 8% growth over the previous year. Brent crude oil futures fell nearly 2% at $62.16 US dollars per barrel on Friday. Samsung Electronics has named T.M. Rowe as its new co-CEO and head of its device experience division, overseeing mobile phones, TVs and home appliances. Singapore's economy is on a faster growth path in 2025, with the government revising its full-year forecast to around 4%. In Singapore, biomedicals and pharmaceuticals also saw robust growth, expanding 8.9%, while wholesale trade benefited from a rising global sales of machinery and equipment. The Kremlin said on Thursday that Russian President Vladimir Putin had visited the command post of the Russian Forces West grouping, where he had a meeting with the chief of Russia's general staff, that's Valery Gerasimov, and other top military brass. The Russian army claimed to have again captured the Ukrainian city of Kupiansk. Ukraine's general staff denied claims made by the chief of the general staff of the Russian army, Valery Gerasimov, that the Russian forces have captured the city of Kupiansk. A Russian strike on the southeastern Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia on Thursday night killed at least 5 people and injured 3. Emergency services were deployed to fight fires and evacuated wounded civilians. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that he had discussed with visiting Secretary of the U.S. Army on Thursday ways to work with Washington on a plan to end the conflict with Russia. Following the Ukraine-U.S. officials meet, the White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt on Thursday said that the administration is having a good conversation with both parties on how to end the conflict. At a UN Security Council meeting, Russia defended its attack on Ukraine, while the United States and Ukraine pressed for an immediate ceasefire and a viable path to peace. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Mike Waltz urged all sides to halt the fighting, saying diplomacy is the only path to a durable and just peace. Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has approved a $135 billion fiscal stimulus to revive Japan's economy amid rising prices, including energy subsidies and tax cuts for households, with a focus on reducing the debt-to-GDP ratio. U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday removed his 40% tariffs on Brazilian food products, including beef, coffee, cocoa, and fruits, that were imposed in July, dropping steep tariffs he imposed this summer. The Brazilian President, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, welcomed Trump's decision to eliminate 40% tariffs on Brazilian food products. A federal judge appointed by former U.S. President Joe Biden ruled on Thursday that the U.S. President Donald Trump must immediately terminate the months-long National Guard deployment in Washington, D.C. A U.S. appeals court suspended the release of hundreds of people on bail after they had been arrested by immigration authorities in the Midwestern state of Illinois as part of President Trump's crackdown. A fire broke out at the UN Climate Summit venue in Brazil, forcing a sudden evacuation and halting the negotiations that were entering a critical phase. India's Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav expressed concern over the fire at the COP30 summit venue in Belem and said that all Indian delegates and media representatives were safely evacuated. Minister Yadav on Thursday addressed the third annual high-level ministerial roundtable on just transition at COP30. He stressed the need to safeguard livelihoods, create jobs, eradicate poverty, ensuring food security and social protection. The National Transportation Safety Board of the United States on Thursday found evidence of fatigue cracks in key parts of the UPS MD-11 cargo jet that crashed this month in Kentucky, killing at least 14 people. The NTSB added that it found areas of overstress failure. At least 15 people died and 7 others were injured after an explosion at a factory in Pakistan's Faisalabad on Friday. The blast, likely triggered by a gas leak, brought down the factory structure and destroyed several nearby houses, leaving several people trapped under debris. The European Union is prepared to take direct stakes in Australia's critical minerals project and also will announce a list of projects it will support. The former Peruvian President Martin Vizcarra pleaded not guilty on Thursday to corruption charges of receiving $710,000 in bribes from construction companies between 2014 and 2016. Demonstrators took to the streets of Mexico City on Thursday demanding justice for specific cases of violence, including the assassination of the Uruapan mayor, Carlos Manzo. Time for a short break. You're watching DD India.
India did not agree that Hindus and Muslims could not live together. This was a birth of a country or two countries, but it was a birth that was also an abortion, because you were literally killing this country that was being born at that point. Every time a Muslim came to prominence in India, President of India, Chief Justice of India, cricket captains, whatever, it was a standing rebuke of the very Pakistani idea. If a Muslim could achieve all this in India, then why did Pakistan need to be created?
Welcome back. Let's get you the weather news now. Landslides in central Java, Indonesia, have killed 30 people, with 21 still missing after torrential rains struck Kilapap in Bajarangnaraga. Torrential rains in the central Vietnam, they've killed 41 people and flooded key coffee-growing areas in the coastal towns. Over 1,500 millimeters of rain fell in 3 days, causing evacuations, blackouts and road damage. A deadly snowstorm with winds like a Category 3 hurricane struck Chile's Torre del Paine National Park, killing 5 tourists. Authorities have launched an internal investigation. Heavy snowfall has created treacherous driving conditions in the UK. The alert comes as the country faces its first Arctic blast of the winter, bringing severe weather and disruptions to the region. The UK's Met Office issued new yellow weather warnings for snow and ice across parts of England and Scotland, urging caution as cold conditions persist. Temperatures dipped up to 6 degrees below seasonal norms as wintry weather settled over France, creating light but noticeable snowfall along the roadway. 4 people have died after a 5.7 magnitude earthquake jolted Dhaka and nearby areas on Friday morning. Residents rushed outdoors as buildings shook, and tremors were also felt in neighboring eastern India. The India Meteorological Department has forecast light to moderate rain and thunderstorms over southern states of Tamil Nadu and Kerala in the coming days. The IMD predicts heavy rain along with gusty winds for Andaman and Nicobar Islands on Friday and Saturday. Coastal areas are also expected to experience thunderstorms. A gradual rise of 2 to 4 degrees in the minimum temperatures is likely across central and west India over the next few days, while the northwest India may see a drop of 2 to 3 degrees Celsius later in the week. The hand-to-hand outdoor book exchange event in Iran's capital Tehran has transformed city streets into a vibrant hub of cultural sharing, where Iranians gather to donate and trade books. Los Angeles' Broad Museum has unveiled a landmark exhibition celebrating the whimsical and monumental works of the late artist Robert Therian. The monumental work of Robert Therian includes towering stacks of oversized saucers and giant-scale furniture, immersing visitors in his playful, larger-than-life creations. In Nigeria's Benin City, the historic Guild of Benin Bronze Casters continues to preserve centuries-old bronze casting techniques. The Colombian Navy has unveiled the first objects recovered from the Spanish galleon San Jose, and which sank in fact off Colombia's coast 300 years ago. 10 years after the wreck's discovery in the Caribbean Sea, divers have retrieved 3 gold and bronze coins, a cannon and a porcelain cup. In New York, Sotheby's autumn auction featured Frida Kahlo's El Serfano, which sold for $54.6 million, setting a new record for a work by a female artist. Sotheby's autumn auction also included Gustav Klimt's portrait of Elizabeth Lederer, which previously fetched $236.4 million, and the Australian artist Mauricio Catalan's famous golden toilets. Chicago's Shed Aquarium has introduced Alphys, a young Linnet 2-toed sloth, marking the first sloth resident at the facility in more than 2 decades. At the Singapore FinTech Festival, AI-powered augmented reality smart glasses allowed users to see, speak, and pay using iris and voice authentication, completely hands-free. Observed globally on the 21st of November, World Fisheries Day highlights sustainable fisheries and aquaculture for food security, livelihoods, and ecological balance. As the second largest fish-producing country, India marks the occasion with the theme India's Blue Transformation, strengthening value addition in seafood exports. The 5th Shillong Literary Festival 2025 has begun on Friday at the iconic Wards Lake in eastern Indian state of Meghalaya in the capital Shillong. India marks World Television Day on the 21st of November, highlighting the TV's role in informing, educating, and connecting citizens. India's TV network reaches 900 million viewers across 230 million households, with 918 private satellite channels and 6.5 crore DD free dish homes supporting digital inclusion. Day 2 of the 56th edition of IFFI witnessed Creative Minds of Tomorrow Challenge, a 48-hour challenge where young filmmakers create original content. An ambassadors roundtable was held, bringing together representatives from Australia, Cuba, Guyana and Ireland to explore ways to enhance bilateral audiovisual cooperation. Do Diwane Seher Mein, an upcoming Indian romantic drama featuring Siddhant Chaturvedi and Mrunal Thakur in the lead roles, will hit cinemas on the 20th of February 2026. Julian's Auctions, in collaboration with Turner Classic Movies, offered a first look at the film and television memorabilia ahead of its year-end Hollywood Legends auction. The Hollywood Legends December sale will feature nearly 1,500 items spanning almost 10 decades, including screen-worn costumes, props, artwork and rare production pieces. American actor Michael Jordan was honored with the American Cinematosque Award on Thursday at a ceremony and red carpet event at the Beverly Hilton in Los Angeles. The late actor Chadwick Boseman received the 2,828th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on Thursday. His widow, Simone Ledward Boseman, accepted the honor. Tim Robinson's comedy series, The Chair Company, is back for a second season. The first season was released on the 12th of October 2025. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is set for a second season. The renewal comes ahead of the series premiere scheduled for January 18, 2026, with the second season of the half-hour series set to launch in 2027, in fact. The makers of the American dystopian action film The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping have released the official trailer, and this movie is slated for release in theaters the 20th of November 2026. Sports news now. An Indian skipper, Shubman Gill, has been ruled out of the second test against South Africa due to a neck injury. The hosts will be led by wicketkeeper Pant in a must-win match starting on Saturday. 6 nations gathered for a special meet and greet and gala dinner ahead of the first Women's T20 World Cup for the blind in Colombo. Spain bounced back from an opening singles defeat to defeat the Czech Republic 2-1 and reached the Davis Cup semi-finals for the first time in 6 years. The pace bowler Mitchell Starc took 7 wickets for 58 runs as England were bundled out for 172 on day 1 of the first Ashes Test against Australia in Perth. Australia's innings also was on the verge of collapse at the end of day's play. They had lost 9 wickets for just 123 runs after Smith and Head departed for 17 runs and 21 runs respectively. India's Lakshya Sen defeated compatriot Ayush Shetty 23-21, 21-11 in the quarter-final of the Australian Open badminton tournament in Sydney. Italy will face Northern Ireland in the European playoffs in their bid to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, while Sweden will be meeting Ukraine as 16 teams compete for the 4 remaining places in the European slots. Nikhat Zareen led India's gold rush as the country's pugilists finished with 20 medals, including 9 gold, 6 silver and 5 bronze at the World Boxing Cup finals on the outskirts of New Delhi. Champion Zareen was not alone in her pursuit, and she was joined by compatriot Jasmine Lamboria, who stunned Olympic medalist and clinched the gold medal. Paul Pogba is expected to make his long-awaited return to action after over 2 years out of the game when Monaco travelled to Rennes this Saturday in Ligue 1. Zimbabwe displayed an all-round effort and beat Sri Lanka by 67 runs, defending a modest 162 in the second match of the Tri-Series. They're bowling the hosts out for only 95. Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen is officially among the 360 players who've been registered for the 2025 World Rapid and Blitz Championships to be held in Doha in Qatar in December 26 to 30, FIDE has announced. From India, world champion D. Gukesh will headline the men's category, while the former world champion and trailblazer Koneru Humpy leads the charge in the women's category. Lando Norris set the pace in a disputed second practice session at the 2025 F1 Las Vegas Grand Prix. The F1 World Championship leader was milliseconds faster than Mercedes' Antonelli. Inter Miami's new stadium will make its entry into the MLS scene next year. The star player Lionel Messi will host Austin FC on April 4 in a Major League Soccer regular season match. That's all we have in the Express News. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.